Cool. All right, podcast episode 2. This is the Blackgate podcast. My name's Connor.
This is Tyler speaking.
And I think probably a little bit more introductions are in order this time. We kind of just jumped into it last time about, we kind of covered what we do and what we're trying to do, like, kind of lightly. But I think this time we'll go over a little bit deeper, and I've got a couple questions about, like, people asking me what Blackgate is. Like, obviously we released that first podcast under the Blackgate name, so I think it would be good to go into a little bit more details about what that is. So we'll get into all of that. I think we'll start off with just like more about us, huh?
Yeah.
About what we do. So pretty much, me and Tyler both grew up in San Diego.
Fuck, we've known each other for 17 years?
17 years is what we found out in the last podcast. We never really thought about it like that. It's a long time. First grade, to be exact. So we were like good friends, just being shitheads in elementary school. Just bonded through being shitty. Wearing big skate shoes, DC
Fucking
shoes.
Osiris's.
Yeah.
The big fat boys.
Good times. And then, fast forward a lot of years, we started hanging out again when we both kind of broke out of our shell in like 8th grade, and we both were like really into, or really Tyler got me into, Tyler and like a couple other of my close family that got me into heavier music, which was around 8th grade, so we were like 12 and 13, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when we turned like, preteen, teenagers. So that was like really the beginning of where this whole story starts, I think, is like us being involved in the heavier music scene, like Killswitch Engage, probably my favorite band.
Yeah, that shit is so good.
That's kind of the beginning of our story, is us hanging out around that age, coming together with like with that common interest of heavy music and long hair and tight pants.
Yeah, I feel like we did a lot of shit just in like together in general. Shit that no one else was really doing at the time.
Yeah.
We were just trying to like, I don't know, we didn't really care.
Think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, like middle school was crazy. We just kind of did us. We made t-shirts for fucking,
remember
Gapped Punk?
We had a little, our first band was an electronic Fruity Loops band that we made t-shirts for.
It was super goofy. And that was cool though. Yeah, we're always doing like fucking just shit like that, always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we went through growing up a little bit, Tyler was in a couple different bands, and then we finally came together probably around like sophomore year, right? When we joined our...
Yeah.
So yeah, sophomore year, we're both probably, what's more like 14, 15?
For 9am?
9am, right?
I think we're like 16, 17.
So it was like junior.
I think 17.
Yeah, junior year sounds better.
Yeah, that sounds better.
But yeah, go back to that. Me and Tyler both had left traditional high school to go to a... was independent study, which is alternative, like learning. We went like once a week, which was like super flexible with what we liked doing, which was playing music, and gave us time to like practice, and a lot of that time was spent not doing shit. But
nah, it was cool. It was probably the best move I think I've ever made.
For sure.
Yeah, because you could go to school once a week for an hour. You just do like your packets. Like I'm pretty good at self-learning. Like I'm really into that. Because I can take a book, I figure it out, and then do it at my own leisure. Not like I hated school. I was super not into it. I just didn't like. Teachers were annoying. Couldn't focus. There's too many kids in the classroom. So it was a good opportunity to have like an alternative like that. And anyone that's listening that like hates school, definitely not alone. There's alternatives.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, everyone. That's a good point. Everyone is pushed into that same. Everyone has to learn that same way. That way doesn't work for everyone. Like it really doesn't. And luckily, like both of our parents were, like accepting enough to be like, yeah, like I understand where you're coming from, and it makes sense if you're able to explain it. Like, luckily us at a young age were able to, like, your parents understood, like mine, like, hey, like I'm not learning well in this environment.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work for everybody. So we were fortunate enough to be able to get out of a situation like that and learn on our own time and like in our own way, like in our own manner, which is essentially how you learn anything these days. Like it's all through the internet, and it's all from your own drive, you know, like if you're gonna learn something from Google and YouTube, essentially, like you gotta have that dedication. No one's gonna like kick your ass into it, which was awesome. So I liked that.
Yeah,
part of it.
It kind of makes you responsible.
Yeah,
we did pretty good, man. I think we did. Like my test scores went up for sure.
Yeah,
and I actually because I gave a shit.
Yeah,
it kind of forces you. I mean, there's of course the opportunity not to give a shit. And you can still pass.
mm-hmm.
But I like being held accountable. So I wanted to be able to do well and show it.
Right. Not only that, like, but you have that sense of freedom. Like, you're not, like, oh, this teacher's forcing me to do this bullshit homework that, like, you know is not really providing any value besides time. It's taking, like, it was a time game. It's like fucking eating up all your time to just, like, drill this idea into your head of, like, test, homework. It's a fucked up system. I mean, that's a whole topic we could go on, but yeah, that's kind of where me and him both at that time were in a good position in our lives to be able to like express ourselves creatively, which was, I almost owe a lot of credit to that because me and you were both at home like most of the time and were able to practice like what we actually liked doing, which was playing music.
Mm-hmm.
So around junior year we joined a band that had moderate success. We did a lot of fun stuff with it. We played mostly a lot of local shows in the beginning, which was a time when the San Diego local scene was really vibrant for sure.
Our first show was sold out.
First show was like 600 kids with, I mean, obviously credit to all the other San Diego bands that were doing things at the time. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah, we're lucky to join into a good scene.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of heavy hitter bands, and I think that was cool. Like half of it too, is everyone was really motivated to just be fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a good environment the whole time growing up.
Yeah. With
this band because there's so much competition.
Right.
I feel like you don't see it as much now.
Yeah, that's a bit of a downer. That kind of leads to almost the bigger picture of what we're trying to do here, that we could maybe get into a little bit later. But yeah, we went on some tours with this band. We met a lot of really cool people, and ultimately like that was the starting point of what we decided like this is what we want to do. You know, whether it's maybe not playing music in a band. But somehow involved in a lifestyle like that.
Definitely,
I think that taste that we had of touring, and obviously like it doesn't work out for everyone. It's hard as hell to make it in music, you know. But that gave us the taste of like, hey, we don't really want to work this normal lifestyle of being in that 9 to 5.
Yeah,
because we experienced it. We figured it out early. Like, this was fucking awesome. We were 18, like out on the road.
Yeah, in Vegas.
And like all these cool places.
Crazy.
And
it kind of like hits in a reality check of like there's more than just doing the normal quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you're saying 9 to 5, go to school, get a job, and be in debt and do it. Yeah, we was just kind of had a drive of doing something different, kind of like off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like probably the most motivating thing. It really allows you to open up and do you. And that could be any outlet. It doesn't have to be music.
Yeah, it's really just finding that. Which I talked a little bit. I did a little rant the other day about like how being stuck in that monotonous path of just like going to work every day, or whether it's like school, you're in college right now. You don't have time to figure out what the fuck it is you like. You really don't. Like, you don't have time to think. Like, you're not even thinking about, like, what it is. What are your interests? Like, you don't fucking know. You don't have time to think about, like, oh, maybe I would like to pick up a camera and take some, like, creative pictures. I mean, obviously, you gotta, like, have some self-awareness. Like, maybe if you suck at taking pictures on your iPhone, like, you might know. Like, maybe that's not for me. But there's something out there, you know, like, other than, like, being good at academics or I heard someone say something really weird today when I was working, and she was just talking to her friend, and she was like, yeah, I don't even have any hobbies. The only thing I'm good at is getting work done, and that like killed me inside. I was like, damn, that's all that, yeah. And that's like brings me back to the point of like, maybe she's really great at something, but she doesn't know. She just never had the chance to figure that out.
Got it drilled in her head that maybe she's not good at other things.
Exactly.
That happens, man. Work environment can do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
College can do that to you. Your peers' biggest influence can do that to you.
Yeah.
Making you feel like you're not worthy. You're like, just like, nah, you're just only doing this now. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even try. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the safe path. I like the term, the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
There's no resistance, you know. It's just you go to work every day. It's easy. It's not a hard thing to wake up every day, and like, it's just you might like dislike it and it's like uncomfortable, but it's like it's consistent. So like we like consistency. We don't like change as people, as humans. Like that's what's easy, but that's what never allows you to grow. So that's been a big thing of me and Tyler being connected through all these years of, even after the band kind of went its separate ways, we've always been on that same mindset, and now we're kind of at a point where we want to build it into something bigger, which brings it into more explaining about what Blackgate is all about. So if you want to talk a little bit about like what it is that we do.
Yeah, definitely. We've been working on this, a little backstory. So about like 6-8 months ago, I remember coming down, we were just kind of hanging out and talking about it. We were both like kind of within a rut. Or like we were like listening to motivational shit. We're like, yeah, I know, I was kind of figuring it out. So we sit down, we start brainstorming for a couple hours, and we're just trying to throw out like ideas together. And we end up landing on, you know, like fuck it. It comes down to a fuck it situation where you can't be scared to take the risk. And I think that was kind of the biggest thing we were thinking about, like, because it seems so difficult. You see other people do it, but you don't really know how to get there. So that's what we're trying to brainstorm. And I've been recording, I would say, I think like professionally within 2 years now. Of getting clients, you know. My biggest thing is just like recording them, producing them, and then Connor's been diving into photography. So we've been trying different things, you know, kind of like still within doing something creative.
Yeah, so really what this whole Blackgate company is all about is it's really just a group of creatives that are together, like that all have a common goal of building things. It's all involved with art or music or whatever that may be. So at the moment, obviously Tyler talked about how he does recording and producing bands. I do a lot on the visual side of things with photography and videography, and there's a couple other people involved right now that do other things that are with us, and so far it's been really cool with some of the people we've been able to meet and work with, and it is just the beginning stages of what we're ultimately trying to accomplish, but really, yeah, what it comes down to is we're covering a lot of grounds.
Yeah.
And that's I think like the biggest thing that we want to do. And we spoke on it earlier about the San Diego like music scene being in a kind of a different place right now. So from compared to what it was when we were playing music. So really like what this company represents is growth in all these like aspects of building bands, whether it be like through the producing, through musical recordings, through their visual content, and yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'd say we're like the one-stop shop. That's what we're trying to be. You can be an artist, not have a band. You can come to us, and we will develop you. Mm-hmm. Or you are a band that's established. You just need a little guidance. We're here for consulting, or any sort of like picking our brains. We can pick your brain, kind of see where we're at. Jump between things. Yeah, I would say, the biggest thing we're just trying to do is rebuild that community again. And kind of have an outlet for artists that isn't quite there yet. I would say that's like our biggest thing right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So yeah, this has been a huge step for both of us, and it's like, it's exciting that me and Tyler and a couple other like-minded individuals are coming together to create something that ultimately we all love doing, which is the best part. We all obviously still work normal jobs, but this is what we really want to do, which is just awesome.
Yeah,
you know,
get
like,
together. It's cool just being able to discuss things. You know, we're all passionate about it. We all want like a good end goal for everyone that we work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of where this podcast comes into play too. Is just kind of expressing our ideas. You know, it might not always be directly related to what we do with Blackgate, but it's always kind of based around the lifestyle that we live. I'd say, you know, like the ideas and the path that we're on, and it's a path that a lot of other people can relate to. You know, like there's plenty of other people that they don't want to live by these normal standards anymore, and especially with the internet and what that's done for everybody, like it allows like everybody to see those different ways that people are doing it. Like if you take an example of somebody that you look up to that's made it, you know, like you can mimic that idea. And that's what I think is a really beautiful part about what all social media has done. You can either look at it like, oh, why do they have it and I don't? Or you can follow the steps that they took to get there, because you can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's kind of like a documentation with this podcast of where we're at in life and where we're at as far as like business goes, and it's exciting. I'm stoked. It's really cool to be able to have this expressive outlet. In the future, we obviously plan on having a lot of guests, which is going to be really exciting. And that probably will start with some of the bands that we work with, or just artists and creative people in general. Yeah, really anybody that has like a good creative path that they're going down. You know.
Yeah, we want to make this. Well, we're going to do this weekly, and we'll start doing more questions, and we're just kind of building the whole environment now.
Yeah, it's really about building a community. Like that's what's super important, is community, because there's like nothing stronger than that. If you can build a group of like-minded individuals, like anything can be accomplished. I think that's my belief.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
because like you were saying earlier with like the internet thing,
yeah,
you can find these online mentors.
Yeah,
you can do all this shit. It's just the fact of doing it. And that's what we kind of want to be here, is to help guide people doing things. It's like, all right, just do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, and I mean that's also not to say that like anybody really has it all figured out. You know, like the point of this podcast also is to learn and grow as we go. You know, like we're here learning, and that's the point. You know, we're all growing together, and me and Tyler are like confident in our crafts, which is a big point for us, which is good. You know, we're confident in what we're doing, so that's why we wanted to start a collective like group like this to be able to help others. You know, that's what it's really all about. I think it comes down to just helping other people, like
sharing ideas, like and having people, if they have a different point, they can like listen to our point. Like, oh, that's a different spin on it. Yeah, so it's not just like this is how it is and that's it. Yeah, it's because like I would say, even because we were able to reach people outside of San Diego. You know, I got a couple people listening to this, and it's like their scene could be completely different as well. Yeah. You know, but at least it's someone hearing something different. Yeah. You don't have to worry about their scene being like, well, it's different here.
Yeah, that's what's awesome, man. It'll be getting different points of views on, and being open to different ideas, because everybody has like a slightly different spin on it. You know, like even me and you, we might have a lot of the same ideals as far as creativity and everything of that nature, but we might disagree on some things also. But that's the beauty of it, you know, being able to talk and ultimately like maybe what you're saying I might end up agreeing with, you know, and that's how we grow as people. And that's what it's all about. It's all about growth. It's about community, and yeah, it's exciting. It's super cool.
What would you say your end goal is on this?
I think that kind of sums it up for me. Really to be able to build a strong community of people, of different, from all different like creative angles, you know. like whether, obviously I like doing photography and videography, but I also love doing things like involved with social media, you know, like building platforms like that.
Do you see yourself like on the road or anything? Want to tour again?
Dude, yeah, that's huge for me. That's me and you went on a couple tours when we were playing music in our band, and there's nothing like that, man. There's nothing like being able to be on the road and doing what you love every day.
You live like a fucking bum, but it's so dope.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard as fuck. It's uncomfortable as fuck, but like you love every second of it. You eat like once or twice a day tops if you're lucky.
Yeah.
We were definitely like good beer bros. On that shit. What breakfast was multivitamin, a Red Bull, and a beer.
Oh, man.
Like a warm beer though, because it's been sitting in the ditch.
We didn't even have coolers. We didn't have that far.
I loved we'd open up the doors and beer cans would fall out. And
Oh god. It was classic, like just shitheads what you think about. But like what that comes down to too is like how much we learned. Like when we were younger doing these tours and stuff, it was kind of just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. We're doing what we love. Like we worked hard for this and we get to tour. But when I look back on it now as I'm a little bit older, like I think of all of that stuff as like how much I learned about just like the world and people in general, you know? Like you see a lot of faces, you see a lot of places, and that's fucking awesome. There's nothing that compares.
Because like it's different culture shocks too. Like you'll be like in Idaho.
Yeah.
A little more conservative, a little more quiet.
A little more crackhead.
Yeah. And then you'll be in like Utah, and they're super. You can't even drink booze on Sundays.
Weird, yeah. There's just things. There's so much out there, man. And this kind of is a good segue into talking about like the other way that I've gone. I've gone the complete opposite way with. I mean, literally everything that we're discussing here is I ended up taking a job that went against all of this.
Yeah.
You know, any kind of creativity. That's the word. I went straight for security with a job that I've been working for the past almost 2 years. I've been doing it for 2 years, what that comes down to for me is I don't regret it at all because of how much I've learned. Also, I've learned so much about how much I dislike it, like how much that like everyday grind is just for working for somebody else, you know, because grinding can be fucking awesome. Working hard is great.
Yeah, if you're doing what you like.
Yeah.
I think a lot of like when people are upset nowadays, it's because people are doing shit they fucking don't want to do, and spending all their time doing shit they hate instead of stuff they want to do. But by the time you get home, cook dinner, do your chill out time.
Yeah.
You don't want to work on anything because you just spent fucking like 8 hours, you know.
Yeah.
You woke up early, you showered, you ate some breakfast, you went to work. God, this kind of sucks. This isn't really what I'm into, but I need to pay bills.
Pay bills, yeah.
So you get a lot of upset people at that point.
Yeah.
Or they're feeling depressed. They're not fulfilled in any sense, you know.
Yeah.
Probably not going out and getting any exercise of any sort.
Yeah.
And then
A lot of factors.
doing shit you hate. That's the biggest thing. I've been at my job almost 6 years, man, at the guitar shop. I've had jobs in between that I've always stayed at that job, and then took on like a do construction for a little bit. That was pretty fucking tough.
Yeah.
I stuck into it because it's cool, but it's not like a fucking awesome paying job. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it forced me to keep doing this, which is kind of hard.
Well, just to chime in on that too, I mean, obviously that is a job that you're just going and working for a paycheck. You know,
Exactly.
It is. But I mean, it is cool also that you are tied into what you like doing. Like it's a guitar shop, and that is what you like doing. But I mean, you really even. You know, I could be taking pictures for a company or something, but if you're still doing it under someone else's terms,
it kind of sucks the life out of it.
That's the quickest way I think to like kill your creativity or your dream into something. You know, if I were to take a job for
just a paycheck, and you're like,
paycheck,
you think it's like, oh well, I'm good at this, but I don't really fucking like what I'm shooting. This is fine though.
It's fine.
And then you keep doing this is fine jobs, and you fucking start hating your passion.
And your life goes by
been
quick,
there,
man.
dude. Yeah.
When you're doing that stuff, like the years start to pass by quick. And I used to think it was like just a getting older thing, you know. But really, it's just like how you choose to spend your time. And no one made me get that fucking job, dude. Like nobody made me do that. Like I had that idea in my head, and what's been kind of ingrained in all of us. Like, I was like, well, I just got to do it, you know. I got to get that job, and I got to pay the bills, and I got to go into debt, and then I got to work to pay off the debt, and that's just, because that's the narrative these days.
Yeah, it's a classic, well, we have an idea in society itself, let's call it 50K. We kind of talked about it on the last one. But, like what the fuck, how does this make any sense to where, alright, dude, I'm out of high school, fuck, I need a job. Let me go to college to get a job so I can be competitive with people with the same skill set.
Yeah.
But be in fucking debt.
Yeah.
That's scary to me. And that's the one thing, I don't know if we talked about this, but like, let's say like you kind of made a little bit of money, you go out and buy a Ferrari, and you're a big dick in it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're broke as fuck. You get bankrupt on that Ferrari, so then fuck it, it's a loss.
Yeah.
But college is for life. You can't bankrupt that.
Right.
They're just like, nah, sorry.
Yeah,
dude. You
that's
still
scary,
owe
dude.
fucking money.
It's very scary, and that's a reality for a lot of our peers. And
so, why wouldn't you want to risk it? I guess that's like the biggest thing is like, if you hate what you're doing, shit kind of sucks. Just fucking risk it.
Yeah.
What do you gotta lose, especially at this age? You know.
Life is long, man. Like, really, it is. It is a long game. If you start thinking about things like, this is what I'm fired up about this lately, because I've been forcing myself to think this way. If you start thinking about things in a 5-year term, if you think about you're building something every day, think about where that's at in 5 years. You know, like you build a business that you love. It's your absolute passion. You can't be thinking of it short term. You can't be like, fuck, why don't I have $100,000 next month?
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
You're not going to become a millionaire. Nobody that's ever built something that wasn't a fucking trust fund baby, like, didn't work their ass off for a long time. It takes time. Like, that's the thing. But you're never going to even, like, start it because of what? Because you want to work the job. You can go back to that job, dude.
For sure.
I still work at the job that I'm at now that I hate, but it drives the fuck out of me. And that's what I'm excited about. Like, it drives me.
Or it's like, you go out and you go party, and you're like, yeah, this is kind of fucking cool. Shit sucks still, I'm broke.
Yeah.
And you're not throwing that like, alright, you go spend $50 to a club. Let's say you go downtown Uber. Let's say it's $50. It's pretty low.
Yeah.
That $50 in that one night of your time could have went towards your passion.
Yeah.
You could have went towards like building a blog. Let's say you like fucking writing, and you're like super into it, but you don't think there's any sort of outlets. You're like, fuck it, no
one's gonna care.
Yeah, just do it. Like if you care, at least you get something out of it. You don't have to do it for other people. It's never gonna be about that. As long as you're doing it for you and you're making yourself proud, take that $50, throw it into some shit like a website, and start doing your shit. And then maybe it gets some traffic, and that's awesome.
Something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is fulfillment too, and it's not just, and fulfillment's like something that you don't experience unless you've had the hard times with it. You're not going to be fulfilled if it was just an easy thing, and that comes into play with a lot of our temporary satisfactions that we get every day. You know, like the like counts on our picture. That's an instant gratification. You know, you're stoked. Like, and that's fine. Those things are cool. Like, not to bash on anything. Like those things are all like necessary. Like it's cool. Like, it makes you feel good, but that can't be all it's about. You know, like it just can't be. You have to have something that you're working towards that's greater, so that 5 years down the line, you're fulfilled with something that you made or something that you built. Like, oh, I watched my growth get better with photography. I watched my growth get better with whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I became a better business owner or whatever that might be. Like, that doesn't come, you don't think 5 years from now, like, fuck, I'm stoked I binge watch fucking House of Cards, you know?
And that's something so easy to do.
It is.
Because
it feels good.
You're like, I deserve this downtime.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking watch the shit out of House of Cards. You're like, that's gonna be dope. And then like the next day you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, well, fuck, I watched 6 hours.
I can't give my kids the House of Cards information I just got.
Yeah, it's
like,
not passed down.
Yeah, you can't, like, alright, I work at McDonald's and flip some shit. You're not gonna, like, oh, come on, dude, this was my job and here it's yours. You don't own the company. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I think just building something you can, like, pass down is the biggest, coolest thing. And it doesn't have to be big or anything. Just something you gave a shit about, you know, like, something like, pick up a hobby. get good at your hobby.
Yeah.
And then you can teach your kid how to do it. That's fucking cool too.
It's fulfillment, man. That's like such a big word to me right now. And it always will be, because that's my goal. I want to be fulfilled with whatever that might mean, and I'm still learning what that means. But that it's important to me that like I recognize it, and that's the coolest thing. Is like I'm just conscious of it, like that I want to be fulfilled, and
just find like some way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like I remember bitching and moaning to you this last week. Been working a fuckload.
Yeah.
And that's like taken away from me doing me. Dude, I just put in like a 17-hour fucking recording session
Mm-hmm.
the other week. Literally, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Came home, like, been working a lot. Not a big deal, you know, but it starts, dude, it fucks my head up. I can't just work.
Yeah, no.
Well, I just do something that's not always me.
Mm-hmm.
It starts fucking me up.
For sure.
Yeah, I remember just bitching and moaning. And it's just, and then the second I got done, like, writing my own music, I was like, holy shit, I'm so happy again.
Yeah.
I don't even care anymore. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I work in school.
Doesn't matter, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I still am going to my job every day, Monday through Friday, like 10 hours a day. But I know that that's not all I have. Like that isn't the sum of me as a person. I don't like.
Doesn't define you. Yeah.
When somebody asks me like what I do, I don't like talk to them about my job that I hate. I talk to them about what I'm trying to build, and I don't know, man. That's what everybody deserves. Everyone deserves that, and
having an outlet. I mean, maybe it's something. Let's say you're not within that realm of like, I don't know what I really want to create. Get behind something.
Yeah.
Like, find a cause you're super into and do that in a positive sense.
Yeah.
Make a change through that if you don't want to like develop something. Because then I think that's where like you're saying fulfillment kind of comes in, where you feel like you're actually doing some sort of progress towards something. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm working towards this.
Yeah.
Here's some sort of like, oh yeah, I'm kind of seeing some perks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you start getting kind of like a little happier.
Yeah.
And you could build from there.
Growth, yeah. That's super important. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of sums up a lot about what we're trying to accomplish here. And, yeah, that's really the goal of this podcast, is just to keep talking about things as they come, you know? Like, who knows, maybe next week we'll think like, oh, maybe we should just go fucking get a normal job.
Yeah, just gotta document it.
You know, we can look back on this one day and like,
see our thought process.
The thought process, yeah.
Where we're at.
It's super, like, that's cool, man. I hope that other people, I mean, I know other people are on the same path, and I know that people are on the path of just saying fuck it every day and doing things they dislike. So hopefully that can, like, hearing things like this can help people think, like, oh man, there is another way, you know?
That's what I'm hoping to. Just finding some sort of inspiration, because it's really hard finding yourself even. You know, I've had really good people in my life who tell me, like, hey, dude, do fucking this.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, if someone's there to tell you you're fucking up, that's really important, too.
Mm-hmm.
You might think you're an asshole at the time, but if they generally, like, give a shit about you, they'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a funny thing kind of happen the other night. This is the second episode of many and of the Blackgate podcast, but I was just laying in bed and I was thinking, like, I started thinking about my voice, like, on the podcast. I started thinking, like, man, this is kind of, probably sounds stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Like, self-doubt. Like,
oh, for sure.
I mean, that happens to everybody. Like, there's nothing you could do about it. You're always going to have, like, a glimpse of self-doubt on, like, anything that you do that you kind of put yourself out there on. But then I started to think, like, I tried to, like, break it apart, like, who's gonna think that, and what is that person like if they really do think that, you know? Because even, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like, if somebody were to say something about, like, this podcast, like, dude, you sound lame, like, or your voice is whack, or something like that,
yeah,
you know?
nitpicking some bullshit.
Yeah, and that's, like, a big factor that holds a lot of people back, you know? Like, the thoughts of others is the hardest thing to overcome.
Yeah, it's like when you get all pretty for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and like you like, oh shit, I want to go outside without looking super dope. Mm-hmm. You're the only one that fucking cares how good you look.
For sure.
Like, that's it. You go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, no one really gives a fuck. You know, you're just thinking it.
Yeah.
If you see someone that looks weird, you're not like, oh fuck that guy. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I think that's where like a lot of overthinking comes, and it was hard to obstacle for me even.
Yeah.
I was like, gotta stop fucking caring so much.
That's
because it holds you back from your potential. And you're like, well, I just want to do it, so fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been a cool, I love that, man. That's because it tells me something, like, about myself, like, that I was able to overcome something. Because it was just, like, it is a little nerve-wracking, you know? Like, you're putting yourself out there in any, whatever, like, shape that takes, you know? Whether it's, in your case, like, putting out a recording, you know, putting out a song that you produced, you know?
Yeah, I want people to like it.
I want people to like it, but at the same time, I'm proud of this, and I put it out, and I put everything into it, and at the end of the day, like, as long as you know, like, that was my product, and, like, maybe you dislike it, like, a couple months from now, or years from now, but imagine, like, you're only gonna get better.
You gotta be cool with sucking.
Yep.
You gotta be
I like
super into, like, fuck, I kinda suck at this right now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, anything you do, you're gonna fucking blow at it. It's totally chill. You're allowed to suck at it. Like...
Yeah, like, I'm hoping episode 56 is a lot better than 3. You know? Like,
it's just natural. It's just progression of things.
Yeah.
But you just gotta start, man. And that's how, like, and I think a lot of people are afraid to take that first step.
That's
Because I fucking, yeah, I
just start, you know?
Yeah, because worst case, dude, you're in the same boat if it doesn't work.
Yeah, like...
you tried, and maybe you find something else outside of it, and you're like, oh, well, I tried this, but now I kind of like this sub of this. That part's cooler.
Maybe it led to something. Maybe it led to you meeting somebody. Like, you know, like, that's a important one, too, I think, is once you start, whatever that thing might be, you're going to find like-minded individuals, or you're going to find somebody that has just thoughts that you're interested in, you know? And that's like...
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. When people... You gotta be on the same page. Or like, you can, like, if you try to find people on the same page, it's hard. So unless you start trying... Because you'll find like-minded people that are also trying, and maybe sucking.
Yeah.
And then together you'll do something sick.
Exactly.
You gotta work with a lot of people. You gotta... It's just experience, man. I think my favorite rule ever is a 33% rule.
What's up?
Where you hang out with a group within your skill level, a group below your skill level, like the beginners who are trying to learn, and then a group that is over your skill level, that just like makes you look fucking terrible.
Right.
So, because then you'll have a balance, and you can always kind of project where you're at. So like you're hanging out like the big dogs, and you're sucking. You're like, this sucks. I'm terrible. I gotta get better. But it's in a motivational way. Then you hang out with your peers, like me and you. We're hanging out. We're doing shit. And then you're trying to find someone that is also like starting to where maybe you took those couple steps. You know, for me, like recording, someone's like, I just bought my first interface. Right. But you're gonna like kind of guide them a little bit. So you can be like, okay, I'm better than this in the sense of I've worked past this point. Now I'm here, and I want to get to that point where I'm getting shit on by these other people.
That's important.
Yeah.
If you can find people like that, like that's such a huge thing. Like, you always hear that cliche thing of like being the product of the five people, whatever that arbitrary number is. Yeah.
If you hang out with like a lot of people that are not quite doing anything, you're probably not gonna do.
Probably not. It affects you subconsciously more than you know. Like, you know, and that comes, shit, man. That applies to a lot of aspects in life, you know, like if you're in a toxic work environment too, you know, like
it's gonna make you feel bad.
You're not gonna be motivated. You're not even gonna be motivated to work like any better for that job, you know. Like, so it really is just about who you associate with, and I'm grateful enough to like know people like me and Tyler, like we've spoke on, have been friends for such a long time, and I'm grateful that we're on this same plane of thinking because people's the game, like that. Ultimately, like, what's really gonna matter, you know, like if we make a friend tomorrow that one day becomes like the CEO of like a fucking big company, and we've worked together and we've built together, you know, like it's important to like meet people that are doing that have those goals, have those aspirations, and like, because it's easy to find people that just want to go drink, you know, or whatever the negative. It doesn't even have to be something so drastic as drinking, but it could just be like playing fucking video games all day, which is cool, you know, like video games. You could stream, you know, but don't just be playing video games all day.
Have like an
but wonder why are my friends shitty? Like, what, you know, like, why are we all just fucking playing video games?
Yeah.
You know?
It's difficult to, like, stay motivated within that field.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's wrong. You're definitely allowed to play video games.
Yeah.
But if you're just, that's it. Like, fuck, dude. I work at, like, let's say, I work a shitty job. Super don't like it. I go home and do shit that makes me not think about my shitty job. It's a vicious cycle. You'll never get out because you're like, no, well, fuck my job, but video games are dope.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And you go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing. There's no, like, hey, maybe I should do something different.
Yeah.
But then you think your only options is like, oh, I gotta go to college, or I'm just never gonna do anything. College is too expensive. I'm just not gonna do anything. That's fucking. That's I think the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to do those traditional routes.
Yeah. What do you think, man? You want to do some Q&A?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Let's see where we're at. Maybe grab your live stream if you want.
Let's see where we're at.
Yeah. I can start with one. This was from our episode 1 in the podcast that we did last week. Somebody had a question on the live stream that I was pretty excited to answer that I didn't get to last time. Let's see what he said. Pertaining to photography. Pertaining to professional photography, this is from Caleb. What are some hurdles, obstacles to overcome, and necessary steps to take in order to gain access to shoot at the big events like Warped Tour, A&B market venues, televised events, etc.? This one's a cool question because obviously the answer seems kind of obvious, but it's cool to go into detail of like the nitty gritty. Because obviously I'm not shooting arenas, you know, as much as like that is a huge goal. I'm not there, but I like to think about it in terms of the first step that you could take. Like, what's the first possible biggest step that you could take? Like, where's that where's your starting point? If you think like, oh man, I really only know people that play in a garage band, then that's where you start, you know, like you start taking pictures of them playing, practicing in their garage, you know, work on the different angles, and then what is that'll lead to maybe that band playing a local venue.
You say like networking then?
I'd say networking is the biggest thing. It comes back down to people being the game, and it's about who you meet, like maybe that band that you know that's just a garage band, their uncle played for a metal band back in the day or something like that, and you make that connection, and then he knows somebody. So that's something that I like to think about a lot with, in terms of growth and how to get to like that next step is really finding where the best starting point is. Like, what's the highest that you can reach as that starting point, and then really just go from there.
Start from that.
Yeah, like who did you meet or who saw your picture that you took at that venue, and
just be around.
Yeah.
Literally just start making like a face for yourself in the environment.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing. That's the only reason I'd say I have like a flow of clients, just because I've just been around. You gotta just talk to people.
Agreed. Yeah. I like that question because it.
What would you recommend to someone that's starting out though? Let's say like they want to do photography, like they're jumping into it, don't really have like a background, and they just want to start doing shit. It's kind of the same thing. Maybe like blog or.
Yeah, shit. The internet is huge for this stuff, man. Like Instagram is turned into like such a platform where, even on your iPhone, like you don't even if you have a passion for photography and really like that's all you even needed as a starting point. You don't have to go out and buy a $700 camera if you have that skill set in mind, like that's what you want to do, then start with your phone and make sure that's really what you want to do. There's a lot you can do with these phones, you know, like who doesn't have an iPhone, you know?
What's the sort of smartphone?
Any kind of smartphone. Yeah, you don't have to go out and buy that $800 camera, but, what was the question? About like
just starting out.
Like where to start?
Yeah, just like in a sense of...
start with like what we have, like, available to us, that's available to everyone. Start putting your stuff out on Instagram. I think that's probably the best platform as far as picture sharing content goes, because when you get into the whole game of like hashtags and stuff and discovering new techniques and following different photographers, and if you find that you really do like it through your phone, get that starter camera, you know, and then go from there and learn the editing process. And
yeah, I super agree with that. I think people overthink the aspect of like more money means better quality.
definitely.
You see that big time with almost anything.
Mhm.
Recording a lot too.
Mhm.
I have people like undermine me with I use Reaper and they're like, oh, it's not a legit DAW. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. What do you mean? It records. I can edit. I can mix in it.
What does it not do?
Exactly, literally, and people just get tied into like the Pro Tools, and it's the same thing with cameras. Like I gotta spend like $900 or it suck.
Right.
You can have the dopest gear, most expensive shit you ever bought, and you can still suck at it.
Because where's your experience?
Exactly. Get good at what you got.
Yeah.
You don't have to have these like outrageous devices.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go live on Instagram.
Cool.
By the way, if you guys are tuning in, we do these on Saturday nights. Pacific time.
Yeah, shoot us some questions. You know what? Hey, actually, we could drop her emails, and then you could.
Yes, tell the email on there.
The blackgateco@gmail.com. Shoot us some questions and we'll answer them. You know, pick our brains. What do you think like kind of brought you into doing the photography deal? Because out of anything, like you could have jumped into recording, you could have jumped into anything.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, with I always knew that I kind of had a bit of a passion for taking pictures. And that kind of goes back to my advice that I gave for the question that you asked. I liked just taking pictures with my phone. Like I liked the editing on my phone. And I like toying around with different edits and changing different colors on things, and it's crazy what these phones are capable of. And I mean, even back before we had iPhones and stuff, I did have like somewhat nicer cameras. I never had a DSLR or anything like that. But I think like why I never started in the past and why this is a relatively like new thing that I started taking seriously was a lot of self-doubt was within me. So, and that's a problem for a lot of people for sure. It's just self-doubt, and I always like I was always confident in like my iPhone photographer skills. You know, it's kind of funny to say, but I knew I knew
I would just be doing it just for my own writing capabilities, and then I was working with a band, and it was very frustrating getting my ideas out. So I started getting like into mixing. So they're like, oh, maybe they're just not hearing it right.
Right.
And I'm like, no, the song's good. I'm gonna show you. And it's like, so it kind of grew from that, and then now I'm in school for it. So
Nice.
yeah, the biggest thing is I never wanted to spend too much money on like what I'm just kind of diving into. So do a lot of research, buy the shit you think you can afford, and then make it work.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been good. You know, the biggest thing is just doing it.
Yeah.
We want to wrap it up. Let's say we've had a pretty.
Yeah. Do you want to go to does your Facebook have questions on it? Nothing else?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of sums it up. I'm stoked that we did this again. You know, episode 2 was. I think every time we're kind of gonna be able to dive a little bit deeper into what we're all about.
We'll be bringing on guests pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully within the next couple weeks. And that, I mean, shit, if you're listening to this, hit us up. If you like doing creative things, we can, whatever that might be, you know, because it all ties in. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, fuck, you do like making quilts or something.
Yeah,
you
that'd
know?
be cool.
Cause
learn about something new.
Yeah.
I want to bring in people that are share a little bit about themselves. We'll have some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple lined up now. So if you want to shoot us an email, want to hop on the show, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We
Even
record these on Saturday nights. I mean, that can obviously be arranged to be something different, but yeah, I think that sums it up. We covered a lot about what we like to do and what we plan on doing with this podcast. We have a website dropping for Blackgate within the next couple of days with contacts and everything like that. If you're interested in doing any kind of work with us, whether you're a band or an artist or really anyone, a business, a company that wants a little bit of consulting, and hopefully we can work together to build something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Definitely.
Talk about things. Well, cool. It's been a good one. Yeah, go to our website. It's blackgateco.com. We'll have have a podcast up there. We have a couple tutorials and a blog so far, and we'll be adding more.
Yeah, we'll have all these podcasts are always up on iTunes if you're listening to this, whether it be on SoundCloud or whatever the platform you prefer. But they're always going to be up on all of our different.
Check us out on iTunes.
iTunes is
drop us a like or give us like a rating. You know, that'd be great.
iTunes is definitely the preferred method. If you guys are listening through there, subscribe on there. That helps a lot, and leave a rating. Get 5-star it. Get 1-star it. Fuck it. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Awesome.
until next week, we will see you once more.
Episode 3. Thanks, guys.